From the Rexworth penthouse, away from Castle Rexworth and the Rexworth estates, I bid you all good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, and whenever you are. My name is Rexworth, Lord Rexworth, and I welcome you to a Tuesday night stream. We're going to be sitting down having ourselves a conversation here with Jiggs the Plague Doctor. He's a mutual of mine in the X Street Pirate crew. Been wanting to interview me for some time, and finally managed to make the schedule work. He's here. I am here. And thank you for redeeming First Clan Thriller. Welcome in. Also, Layla Tungsten, Oil Lupus. Thank you both for checking in over on Kick. Good to see you both. Hope you're all having a lovely weekend. Actually, it's not the weekend. Well, maybe for some people it might be the weekend. You know, if you do some sort of weird shift work. Hope you're having a good week, though. Hope you're having a good week thus far. But welcome in, everybody. Let's see if we can go ahead and raise Jiggs over on Discord. Alec, welcome in. Good to see you. And he doesn't pick up. Maybe he'll pick up. Maybe it's just a slow connection. Hope you're having a wonderful day. Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad. Today was just sort of a rest day for me. Spent quite some time on Monday working. Long day. So today, just sort of resting. I've been sent over quite the interesting stack of show prep from Blabs for what's going on starting tomorrow at 12 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Central. And that is me and Arch appearing together on Side Scrollers. You won't want to miss that. That is 12 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Central, tomorrow. Looking over everything that we've got here. Those of you who are fans of Plain Talk, we've got something. We've got something. Should be good. Should be good. And of course, we'll be talking movies and video games and all the normal things that, you know, you've come to expect from the greatest video game podcast on God's green earth. But yeah. Looks like a full docket here. Lots of things to cover between myself and Arch and Stuttering Craig and Blabs and Phoenix. We're not wanting for topics and for content, so it's going to be good. It's going to be good. But that all starts tomorrow. Side Scrollers, 12 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Central. Be there or, well, be nowhere, really, because that's the place to be. Looking forward to it. So am I. So am I. Let's see if we can try to get Jigs in here. This will be attempt number 2. There you are.
Very confused.
It starts out that way, you get used to it after a while. But anyways, welcome in, Jigs. Your excitement is overwhelming, sir. I'm going to need you to calm down.
I'll try. I'm making sure I have everything. It's weird because I have everything up on Opera, and then since I don't use Chrome now, it's like I'm opening Chrome, and there's a whole bunch of extra windows open now, and I'm like, okay, well, hopefully this works.
Yeah, Chrome is just to get the shared chat going. I don't think anyone really uses the actual voice call function in Twitch, just because it's, like so many other things about Twitch, notoriously unreliable.
Yeah.
Now, let me see if I can get a good level on you. I'm going to boost you up to about... Let's get you up to about 150 here. Give you a little extra volume boost. That should do the trick.
This. Look at that. I hate when it does that, and I don't know why it does that. Whatever.
Why it does what?
I'll do full screen for YouTube, and then there's just a quarter section of it. There's just nothing there. Oh, okay, never mind.
Might be the
There it
chat
is.
slow to load. What does it mean by post a link to your socials on your Discord? What, are you talking about application for the for my Discord client Thriller? If you've got an X account, then post that. Then again, if you're one of those people that have just completely do without social media whatsoever, then, I mean, just say that. We do have some people that are just like, yeah, I don't use X, and so they just put a note in there. It's like, I don't use X, don't use any social media. But I recognized who they were. And so we can still let you in. Just makes things a little bit easier. Don't post much there, just follow the people I like. That's alright. That's alright. You don't have to post a whole lot of things.
I mean, you don't really have to post anything.
Yeah, we just, it's sort of just a safeguard to make sure that you are who you say you are.
Yeah.
Because it's a shocking thing, I know, but people lie on the internet.
What? Never. Not on my Christian Minecraft server.
Just can't be bothered to keep up with every random idiot's opinion on social media. But neither can I. That's why I tend to just stick to the people that I follow. If I really am interested in what they have to post, I'll enable all notifications. Or, you know, if it's of note, it'll come up in the For You section over on X.
Inconceivable that people lie. I know, it's insane.
Anyways, Jigs, why don't you tell everybody over on my side of stream, which, let's see, you're joining us via Twitch. I've got you on Twitch, Kick, YouTube, and Rumble tonight, so you're on 4 different channels on my end. Why don't you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about you?
Oh god, I totally forgot about Rumble. I keep forgetting about it because I have to like manually do it instead of having it automatic like the rest of them.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
right. It's so fucking annoying, dude. But Jigs the Plague Doctor. I was gonna do interviews as like a side thing to the regular content, but where I'm at in life, regular content I don't really get a chance to do that yet. So I do this now, and it seems fun. Then yesterday we had the first Suno music contest, so that was fun. And I got another one in the works for that. So, and the winner gets $100. So just trying to get everyone in the community to put their hat in the ring and see what's what. So I just thought
$100 is $100, chat. This is your moment. Get on it.
It's nice. It's nice.
Dutch Matrix, welcome in. Sup, boys? Sup. Also, the Sky. I feel that regular content is hard to find time. Can be. I'm fortunate that I've got much more flexible schedule this month that I can do that sort of thing. Stream during the week, whereas for quite some time, almost a year, I was a bit of a weekend warrior.
Feel that.
And no idea what the schedule is going to be like next month, so just sort of playing it by ear and guerrilla streams constantly. I don't want to get too many people used to the idea of a stream schedule and then kind of have to make a lie out of myself. It's like, oh yeah, I know I said I was going to stream this time. It's like, yeah, something happened. Can't do it.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, I feel that. The way I got work out, sometimes I'll get off at like 2, and other times I won't get off till 9 o'clock at night. So you just never know till that day.
Exactly. It was that way for a while with me. My employer, now former employer, just did not see the importance of getting me home at a decent hour. And on the weekends, like I was assured that I would be. And so, yeah, they decided they didn't want to honor that end of the bargain. And so I said, okay, well, I feel as though I don't really want to honor my end of the employment contract with you anymore. So I quit.
There you go. Did you at least give him 2 weeks before leaving?
No.
I wouldn't either.
What employer gives you 2 weeks notice when they're going to fire you? Why should I do that for them?
Because it's corporate policy. It's the polite thing to do.
Not in this line of work that I was in, and also I couldn't give a flying fuck.
Yeah, no, I don't blame you.
They wanted to treat the whole place like a revolving door anyway, so what does it matter? They're going to have a fresh crop the following week, so it really does not matter. Don't blame you, yeah. Pyon Lee, welcome in. Good to see you. How are you doing? Thank you for redeeming Not First. Also, hello.
I'll do that. Oh my.
Done that too. Always give 2 weeks to be professional, but working security, that shaft him of vacation hours was promised, so I quit over the phone, left him to fill the hardest to cover hours. Yeah, they get what they fucking deserve. Well done, Lupus.
You get what you fucking deserve. Yes, you do.
You don't owe these people anything, chat. Just they would leave you in the lurch at the last minute just because they can. So just learn to adopt a sort of mercenary mentality with these sorts of things. And if they're not treating you well, then go where you're treated best. For me, doing gig economy work for a couple of weeks turned out to be, I made just as much money as I did when I was over the road and traveling hundreds, even thousands of miles in a week. Only I get to stay closer to home, and I actually get to go home at the end of the day, and I can also set my own hours.
Did you drive trucks as well?
I'm sorry, what?
Did you drive trucks as well?
I did, in a former life. I still hold the license and everything, still considered a professional driver, but but yeah, I just kind of got tired of it, and money-wise, can make just as much doing gig economy work in about roughly the same time during a day, or maybe even less. So I just stick to doing that. A lot less stressful too.
Yeah.
A lot less stressful to do gig economy work, and, you know, kind of just tend to take things easy, and most people are fairly chill to deal with, rather than, you know, constantly having to be on my guard driving some 80,000 pound killing machine.
Yeah, I don't miss doing that.
Yeah, it got to be too much, and the money just ultimately wasn't worth it. Tristan Blaze, welcome in. Thanks for checking in over on Twitch. Worked weekend overnights for a year, been at the site longer than the managing agent. They tried to backlog me vacation hours I was told I'd have, so I quit. Yeah, you know, there's some places you go to work for, and they just either don't know how, or they are getting some sort of marching orders from up top to just not be honest with people like that, to be very dishonest like that, and not deal plainly and in good faith with other people, and thinking they can just take advantage of whoever, and if they quit or they get fired, it's a revolving door. Someone else will replace them. Which, I mean, good attitude for everyone to have on all sides, that ultimately it is a revolving door. You are replaceable, both the employer and the employee. You know, in spite of the current job market being difficult, there are still options. You've just got to get clever about things. But yeah, there's some people out there, the day is not complete until they figured out some way to screw you over or to take advantage of you somehow. And that's just these people, that's just what they do. And can't really confront them about it, because many of them, in their minds, they're not doing anything wrong, and they're just going to continue to lie and be deceitful and just generally be evil and ungodly to you. Anyways, so what does it matter? Just take your things and go somewhere else and do something else. Yeah, don't play those games with me. I was too old for that shit when I was 12. Felt. True and real.
Yeah. Oh my god. Why is it like this?
Still doing tinkering and jiggly pokery over there, or?
Yeah, no, I'm good. I was gonna let you know I'm good now.
Okay.
Yeah, alright, whatever, dude. I was about to say, you didn't have anyone else you were waiting for.
Oh, no. No, that's just you and me. I always thought that was the objective here.
Oh, yeah, no, I was just thinking, waiting for people to roll in for chat. Like, you do it so professionally, and I'm just some dude, bro. I just, like, slap on stream, and I'm just like, what's up?
Most people tend to file in within about the first 10 to 30 minutes, I found. You know, anybody missed the first bit, they can always go catch the VOD, because it's available near instantly after stream anyway.
True. Well, all right then. So, how you doing?
I'm doing all right.
Okay, okay. It's better than most people so far, but obviously without doxing yourself, unless you want to.
I
Tell the
don't.
chat. Good. Tell the chat a little bit about yourself.
Well, for those of you who don't know by now, those of you over on Jig's side of things, I'm Lord Rexworth. I'm an English nobleman VTuber, and I have streamed a variety of content from the very beginning. I do everything from just chatting to video games to video reacts to I've even done some ASMR work. I file a lot of audiobook work under ASMR of the reading variety, which you can find a lot of that on the main page that we're streaming on right now on YouTube, Lord Rexworth of ET. And you can actually find, let me go ahead and just drop the command here in the shared chat. You can find all of my links over on my website, lordrexworth.com. That is lordrexworth.com. All my platforms are there. Please make sure that you follow me on Twitch, on Kick, on YouTube, on Rumble, and also on X. Everything is Lord Rexworth across most platforms except for YouTube, which is Lord Rexworth VT. And we've also got a new Rexworth VT Clips channel, which we can go ahead and drop in the chat. I'm also narrating audiobooks, one in particular for Darwin Gedison, co-starring with Cinevere, titled My Girlfriend Fate. That's the latest one that is out now. We'll go ahead and drop that into chat as well. Let's see, My Girlfriend Fate audiobook, starring Lord Rexworth and Cinevere. There's the link. There we go. So yes, do give those a listen. Do drop follows everywhere, please. And yes, help support small independent content creators like myself, like Jigs, like Darwin Gedison, like everyone in the X Street Pirate crew. Fate was a pretty great listen, not gonna lie. Thank you, Lupus. Thank you. Yeah, we put a lot of work into that. Myself, Cinevere, Darwin, and Sibby with the music, and also Ruby Zephyr working on a visual novel portion. So we'll have some sort of comic book / manga storyboard images coming soon. And I think the long-term vision for that is to eventually get it animated and get lip movements synced to my performance as well as Cinevere's. We'll see. It's still a little ways off, but the tech is catching up. Particularly with what can be done with AI image generation and video generation. The lip syncing element I'm noticing is starting to get better. I'm not sure which programs in particular lead the way. I think C Dance is one of them, but we're getting to that point where you're going to start seeing more and more animated productions. You know, something along the lines of like an anime style OAV just being put out there for people to watch. And it won't be long before people will start paying good money for those types of OAVs and even whole series and films. Tammy really enjoyed My Girlfriend Fate. I'm glad she did. Glad she did. Really good one. And can't wait to start the next one. Can't wait to get started on the next one. Watch the Sky Bros. Yes, watch the Sky Bros crew and some of the other AI bro crews out there. It's
What is it? You mentioned lip syncing. I know Open Art has this whole tool specifically for lip syncing. I haven't got a chance to like use it yet, but like so far, that's the only one I've seen that's like reliable because that's the only thing that one tool does.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe that was what I was seeing was the finished product using that. I just know that if you had looked at it like a few months ago, 6 months ago, nigh on impossible to get that type of lip syncing done with any sort of AI generated animation. But now it's becoming more of a possibility.
All right, slowly getting there. Slowly but surely. I think it'll be kind of interesting to see what happens with all that kind of stuff just by next year.
Yeah.
That'll be really
These things
crazy.
move really quickly.
Yeah.
And you think back to the nightmare fuel Will Smith with the pasta.
Oh, God.
That was, what, 2022, 2023, something like that? And here we are about 3 or 4 years later, and you can generate the same sort of video, and it's uncanny.
It really is. Also, Max, what's up? How you doing? Yeah, it is definitely interesting how everything has come along so far. But hey, with these books that you're making, what's the process for that? What exactly do you have to do? And like how involved in the entire process are you?
I'm really just sort of a humble vessel with the talent on loan from God. So usually the way it works is Darwin sends over a script in my DMs. Usually it's just the ebook version. We'd started out just doing ebook versions. And if it's just me narrating, providing all the voices of characters, I just read from that. And there are typically some segment breaks. Most of these are short stories that he's republishing after having them sit in archives for many years. So typically whenever there's, a certain section break or something like that, I'll stop the recording, go back and edit it, or, well, actually most of the time I just keep reading through till we've got full rough recordings. If I make a mistake, I stop, give myself about 5 seconds, then kind of pick back up where I left off or redo the sentence.
Max said he misses talking about vinyl players and records with you.
Oh, really? I think it's for some reason I don't think your chat's showing up on my end anymore. Hang on.
Oh, this is Kick.
Oh, over on Kick. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, well, no wonder I can't see it. Yes. Yeah, something else that does come up. We did just recently react to a program on NHK World Japan. That's the English language version of Japan's state-run media. It's called Japanology Plus, where they paid a visit to what are known as jazz kisa cafes. Rather quiet, cozy little cafe atmospheres, specialize in artisan style coffees and teas, that sort of thing. And many of the people who own or operate these jazz kisa cafes are audiophiles. So they've got these rather elaborate and incredibly expensive vintage and high-end audio systems, and copious amounts, stacks upon stacks of jazz music on vinyl records that they just load up on their turntable, drop the needle, And that's the sort of experience that you go in for with the Jazz Kisa Cafe, is you're there to have yourself a coffee, have yourself a cuppa, and just chill, relax to the music. The sort of loud, raucous atmosphere of, your local Starbucks or some of the cafe is strongly discouraged. There are some places you can actually get kicked out for talking above a whisper, because people are there to enjoy their coffee or their tea, and they are also there to take in the music through fairly loud, big loudspeakers that are mounted throughout these cafes. Think something with Showa era vibes from, say, the 60s or the 70s, combined with certain hi-fi elements that are that old. Lots of wood paneling on the walls, incredibly warm atmosphere, maybe not too much natural light, depending on where you go. And yeah, just a constant thing of jazz music. Maybe even a DJ set up with two direct drive turntables, but you're not there to scratch records or do any sort of remixing. You're just there to play. It's just there to play one jazz vinyl record after another. Sounds delightful. It really is. I mean, especially what we saw in the React. Very interesting. It's up there on Lord Rexworth VT. We did a highlight of it. It's there available in the archives now. It's there on both the YouTube side and the Rumble side. It's about a 30-minute program, but with all of my starting and stopping, I think we stretched that out to just a little over an hour.
Sounds expensive.
I mean, not really. I mean, usually there might be a cover charge. It's not too terribly expensive. These places are rather small anyway. And from what I gather, the teas and the coffees, not unreasonable in the price. But these are the sorts of places you go to where they will grind the beans there in-house. And some of them even have their own specialty roasted coffee beans that they have, imported, maybe their own specialty blends. So there's quite this artisan flair to it all, but all the prices quite reasonable. If it were anywhere else in the world, yeah, they'd probably be absolutely gouging the shit out of you. Not Japan.
Yeah, I was about to say something like that around here. Like we're already at the point where some places are selling coffee for $7-8.
Yeah, something like this, they would probably set it up to where you're not getting out the door for less than 50, maybe. Steel Bear, welcome in. It's good to see you over on Twitch. And Keylimps, thank you for checking in over on Kick. Good to see you.
So
Oh yeah, circling back to what you were asking about the recording process with the audiobooks lately, especially with this more recent one, Darwin's had to take the EPUB format and rework things, get things highlighted to, identify what exactly is my line, what's the line of someone else, and then kind of becomes this sort of Tetris-y patchwork quilt game of putting all of those together, because none of us are in the same facility or recording in the same facility. I believe with my girlfriend Fate, the way it worked out logistically, I recorded most of my lines first, which were then provided to Cinevere for her to sort of piggyback off of, and so she, worked off of the energy that I was projecting, as it were. And then she provided her bits to Darwin. He put everything together. If there were any missing lines or something like that, he'd just DM one of us and we'd get it recorded there on the spot and put it in, and then, hey presto, you got a finished product. Ensemble is more complicated but worth it. Oh, absolutely. Especially the way this one turned out. No exaggeration, chat. This was Cinevere's first real foray into audiobooks or any type of major voice acting project. She is incredibly talented, even though she's so modest and quite often her own worst critic. So I think she'd almost instinctually disagree with me, or maybe not because it's coming from me, and we have that level of respect and repartee with each other. But she's really good. And I told Darwin that. I was just like, I'm listening back to this, and oh my God, Cinevere, she is so good. Like, damn good. Like, men would go to war just to have her say the things that she does as the character Moira, especially in that rather sexy way that she does. It's just like, it something rises up in you as a man, and you're just like, daddy, like, I'm going to adopt her. Went to a coffee plantation once in Costa Rica. Was impressed with the process and how sweet the beans were fresh. Welcome in, Nick. Thank you for checking in over on Rumble. Yeah, it's always neat to see how things are made, how the whole process is done from farm to table, as it were. And yeah, Costa Rican coffee, Colombian coffee, even Mexican coffee, all of them good in their own right. Mexican coffee has always had that bit of a cocoa vibe, but almost like certain flavor notes of cocoa to them, which is why anytime I get a chance to sample a coffee that's got Mexican coffee beans, I tend to gravitate towards that, because, I mean, who doesn't love a bit of chocolate in their coffee? Lord Stimpworth, oi. You, Nick, need to listen to the audiobook, and then you'll understand what I'm on about. In other words, we need to buy the audiobook to support multiple talented artists. Yes, you do, Steel Bear. Yes, you do. I invite everybody to do that once it's up. This is available for free listening and viewing for a very limited time, and then going to be safely tucked away behind a paywall and also released as an audiobook, I think in Audible format or something like that in the near future. So if you want to hear it for free, now is the time to do it. Because if you wait, it's going to cost you. Gravity Hurts, welcome in. Good to see you over on Twitch. Welcome in. Welcome in. And Elucidator, hello to you. And Elt is everywhere. Greetings, Rexworth Samar. Greetings. Thank you for checking in over on Rumble. Good to see everybody. Good to see everybody. But yeah, more of these multi-voice projects coming up soon. I know we've managed to rope in Jess for a small part with one. I know she was talking about that. I believe this might be the next one that's coming up. Someone else, naturally talented, really good, just needed some encouragement, a bit of poking and prodding.
Howdy, Elucidator. How you doing?
Talk of which, there she is. Look for it, I'm excited, yeah. Oh, Jess, you finally got the points saved up. I'm going to have to double that soon. Udda. And a microphone. Yes, I was actually discussing with Jess about some good starter microphones. I know that Lady Lark has been quite kind to send Jess an old Blue Yeti, which...
Oh my god.
In the interim, will work, but took my 10 years of radio broadcasting experience and some of the technical knowledge that comes with that, and basically made her a list of necessary equipment for both her and for Freeman. Once
Really?
they decide to do streams separately and together. No, don't double the points. I'm gonna double the points.
In fact, he might go 2.5 just because he said that.
Yeah.
Also,
You,
I think
you
it's
keep
interesting
you
that
keep at it,
people are
young
like, "Oh,
lady.
yeah."
We'll triple it.
It's like, I know people that have Blue Yetis, and they're like, I need to get a good one. And I'm like, dude, I know a dude who spent 10 years using a Blue Yeti. Never
Yes.
switched it once, and you would never know he was using it until he told you.
I think more than 10 years. A certain YouTuber who has upon her head a certain shoe used the Blue Yeti. Only recently switched over to an Audio Technica. Sort of budget version of the Newman microphone that CDOG VA uses. And honestly, I prefer the Audio Technica. I used one of those myself many moons ago with early experimentations with podcasting. And yeah, that was, it sounded good. Sounded really good. I always suggest to people to get yourself maybe not necessarily a condenser microphone like that, but maybe something more in the realm of a dynamic microphone with a lot of off-axis rejection, sort of like the Shure SM7B that I'm speaking to you with now, or one that I recommended to Attic, the Electro Voice RD320, slightly cheaper version of the RD20, bit easier to tune and get prepared. I think the big thing is same specs as the RD20. The only thing is that it's built in China rather than the US, like the RD20. Though with the shock mount and everything that's required for its use, you kind of have to end up spending about as much as the SM7B from Shure.
Mm.
But both are fantastic microphones. It just kind of depends on what it is that you're trying to capture. The Shure is a good, I think it's kind of a good even keel type of microphone. Most of the sound ends up being kind of flattened out and equalized properly across multiple guests. Fairly easy to work with. They make for not only great vocal microphones, they're good instrumental microphones too. I mean, there's a reason that Michael Jackson and Quincy Jones used the SM7B to record the entirety of the Thriller album. That was done entirely with Shure SM7B microphones for everything. I've even experimented. One of my former mods, we actually paid him a visit and brought this SM7B with me and used a single SM7B to record him playing the guitar and also singing. Priority given to vocals, but capturing just the perfect level of acoustic guitar. Was able to do that with one microphone. Still got the recording sessions. I still need to figure out what he wants to do with them because it was damn good stuff. Audio just needs to be cleaned up a little bit, and he'd have himself a proper album, or at least a small EP.
Oh, thanks for the follow, by the way, Angel.
Yeah, Angel Rose. Is that who just followed you?
Yeah.
Clicked on the shop link in the description, getting a security warning saying certificate not valid for the site. Just a heads up. Yeah, the shop link is. I may need to just take those down. May just need to take those down. I have not updated anything on lordrexworth.store or even the Throne shop, and in quite some time. May just need to sort of close that down.
Thank you, Lucidator, for the follow as well.
Yeah, everybody make sure you're following Jigs here. Good streamer. Good streamer. And always happy to sit down and have a conversation with just about anybody. I'm not the only one. Interviewed lots of people of the pirate crew.
It did. How'd that go? And who did you interview?
No, I was referring to you.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah.
I talk to a lot of people. I just kind of forget who it is who I'm talking to.
They all just sort of blend together after a while, don't they?
They really do. I didn't think it was. I did not think that was going to be a problem. And then people will hop in chat and be like, "You remember our interview?" And I'm like, "Nope, I don't. I don't remember what I had for breakfast this morning. I'm not gonna lie to you." So
Stream of brain.
Right.
Stream of brain.
Oh man. But you're here, right? You know, you're doing this whole streaming thing. Before I get into exactly the whole side scroller stuff. How long have you been streaming, and like what exactly got you into VTubing specifically? Because a lot of people that stream or say they want to stream, they do the whole flesh tubing thing. So like, how did you get to this?
Well, Michael the VTuber, thank you for checking in over on YouTube. Welcome in, both of you are amazing. Thank you, Steel Bear. Thank you. Thank you. As far as how I got my start in this, I mean, I had done some early experimentation in, I think, late 2000s, early 2010s, but podcasting never really went anywhere. Sort of let it rest and focused on, at the time, what was full-time work in radio broadcasting. I spent about 10 years in the business. And I don't know, around 2022, 2023, I felt something was sort of missing in my life. I needed a sort of creative outlet to do things. I think a lot of it was triggered by the fact that the employer I was working at the time wanted to do podcasting as a form of marketing, and I was prepared to go really high production on a lot of it. They were not. They basically wanted to just do cheapskate, bootstrappy sort of way of doing it. So I was just like, I need to do more than this. This has got to be more than just, a quick 20 or 30 minute sales pitch for the people I work for. I need to do something more. And so at the time I was watching a lot of VTubers on YouTube and other places, and researching the process, like, how do they do that? How do they do all of that? And the more I learned about how it all works, the more I started to realize, yeah, you know what? This isn't too far removed from what I used to do back in the radio days. Only we're adding a visual element to it, which some people in the older generations would just refer to that as television. A lot of the controls are the same, just really simplified. We're not having to go out and get some sort of license to broadcast in a certain over-the-air frequency, or to try and get ourselves a cable channel or something like that, or a satellite television channel. We're just doing this over the internet. So even fewer moving parts. A lot of this live streaming, VTubing business is just highly simplified versions of what you would see with a television broadcast. Sort of like how podcasting is an incredibly stripped down, simplified version of a radio broadcast. And so when I thought of it like that, it started to be something I was able to more wrap my head round and think, okay, well, maybe I can do this. Incredibly nervous about it. Wasn't sure if I could really pull it off. I had discovered a streamer named Inatsu Shiroi. Mostly video game streams. And so reached out to them in DMs one time and just said, I'm thinking about getting into VTubing. I don't know if I've got what it takes to do this anymore, because I was still filled with a lot of doubt and still thinking, you know, it was just my thinking at the time was like, look, I did 10 years in the business. My time has passed. I'm, you know, even if I were to really give this a go, I would be one of the old men in an increasingly young person's game. So I really had my doubts going into this about whether or not I had what it takes so that I could, you know, pull off any of this. So with all of that in my frame of mind, I was just like, I asked her, I was like, would you mind if I gave it a try? Maybe collabed with you. We just play a video game or something on stream and just see if I've got what it takes. And she was like, yeah, that's fine. Very, very inviting, very accommodating. So I was joined one evening in 2023 with her and Razorwind, and we just spent a couple of hours playing Fortnite together, and I was both exhausted but also exhilarated by it all. But at the end, and you know, we chatted for a bit and just going back and looking at how I did. I don't know, something just sort of ignited in me to say, okay, maybe I can do this. Maybe I really can do this after all. And so about a week or two later, debuted to an audience of one concurrent viewer on Twitch. I think it was a Sunday. Those of you who tuned into my 1K followers special a while back, you got to hear sort of an updated version of the very first thing that I talked about. And I believe it was a just chatting stream. It was mostly just me monologuing the entire time.
Hey man, you gotta start somewhere, and it did.
Yes, I did start somewhere. The first week of streams, audio was incredibly scuffed. I think the archives sadly no longer exist because music was too loud and I was too soft. And so even if you were to pop in, you probably wouldn't be able to make out a damn thing that I was saying. So, yeah. First week of that, kind of lost the time, and also did not have a model, was strictly a PNG tuber, kind of built with some pre-made assets. This was before AI started getting big, before you had the Leaf tuber, PNG tuber process that we now have, which I believe that's what you're using right now, aren't you, Jigs? Yeah. So, yeah, it was much simpler. Just simple PNG tuber. And kind of stumbling and bumbling my way through all of this. Working off of a incredibly scuffed old laptop. And about 3-6 months into it, I decided to just upgrade all the equipment. So I've got a brand new PC, dual monitors, webcam, and mixing board, small one, Streamer X from Rode, and the Shure SM7B microphone. And been working with that ever since. And it's just been a matter of lots of experimentation as to what works, what doesn't work. Spent probably the first few years playing it safe, trying to do the whole toxic positivity thing. Even bigger challenge because personal life was just falling apart all around me. Quite often I say the irony of it all is that as my streaming career tends to do rather well, it seems like the personal life takes a hit in order to balance it all out.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I'm hoping, touch wood, that things are starting to balance out in the positive in both realms, but we'll just have to see about that. Stoner, welcome in over on Kick. Hello, my lord. How are you? And how's the guests and chatters? We're doing all right. Doing all right. Just having ourselves a bit of a yappy yap.
I feel like it will.
Elucidator writing, who was your radio voice coach during your radio days? How can I hire them? I want the golden voice. I did get, I guess you could call it a sort of trade education in radio broadcasting. Unfortunately, the people that taught me all of that, they are no longer in business. They've all moved on to other things. So, unfortunately, I cannot direct you to any of them. Also, can't really do that without doxing myself. So, yeah, it's kind of a no-go. I would say that knowledge is becoming more and more open source in this information age we live in. So that is a sort of question I would encourage you to direct to AI, whether it be Gemini or Grok or ChatGPT, and also YouTube videos, lots and lots of YouTube videos on vocal coaching. That would be my suggestion as far as how to go about getting your voice radio ready.
What's that guy's name? Let's see if I can find it. Yeah, if you get a chance to go on that. Wait, no, where is it? Is that his voice? No, it wasn't it. Where'd it go?
Ask AI how to find the people who taught Rexworth how to sound amazing. Gotcha. Well, you flatter me, but I'm sure that AI and a YouTube search will yield some sort of educational material on that sort of thing.
Oh, yeah, okay.
More Thomas ASMR. More Thomas ASMR is coming soon, my coda. More of that is coming soon. We still have to make our way through the rest of the books by Wilbur Awdry. And then after that, we've got the Christopher Awdry books. My lord, were you just a radio guy? Did you also do journalism too? Also did journalism. So I was never really in the music side of radio. I was trained for that, of course. But my specialty was more on the journalistic side. So lots of news radio experience with me.
So you kind of seems like you've done just like a little everything.
A little bit of everything. Tended to change up careers quite a bit. Limu B, thank you for following over on Twitch. Yeah, but I think the thing that is, I noticed in the beginning, VTubing and live streaming, not too far removed from what I was doing in my radio days, even having hosted some long form news programming. I think what kept me at this was after a year or two of not only dealing with things happening IRL, but also kind of getting out of my own head and learning to just sort of let my hair down and be a bit more unfiltered and just speak my mind. I've found that this, in its own way, has been sort of the culmination of all of those dreams that I had of having my own radio, possibly even television show. I've got it here now. I can do what I want. I can talk about what I want. I'm not restricted by time slots. I don't have to worry about sponsorships or, hard outs or, having to hit certain hard network times at the top of the hour or the bottom of the hour. I can just do my thing, and any ad-supported content, the ads will just, they'll play automatically on their own. The three favorite radio guys: Lord Rexworth, Art Bell, and Paul Harvey. Paul loved Paul Harvey. Paul Harvey was an absolute legend. I think it really was. Probably one of his finest hours, though, was not. I mean, he had some absolute bangers on radio, but Paul Harvey, he had a few forays into television. There was a particular special for ABC News. Paul Harvey was a lifelong ABC man, but he had this television special that he did where he had sort of a sit-down interview, very similar to what Jigs and I are doing here, with the Reverend Billy Graham. And I just thought it was truly one of the finest hours of television, but some of the best work that we'd ever seen out of Paul Harvey. Art Bell, I do remember Art Bell, especially listening, the times that I was listening to him on American radio. He had semi-retired to a weekend spot, and George Norrie had taken over the weeknight slots, Coast to Coast AM, whereas before it was Art Bell doing it all, and oftentimes 7 days a week live, which that will burn anybody out these days, but he did it. Can imagine Rex being a field reporter, melting all the ladies' arts in public. Well, I don't know about melting the ladies' arts, but I did do my fair share of field reporting. That came with the territory. Oh, Gravity Hertz, thank you for the hydrate and the stretch redeem.
So from here, because I ask everybody, right, when it comes to this whole VTubing thing, a lot of people seem to do this for fun, for like a side gig, maybe, if they can get to that. But I mean, what do you plan on doing? Is that going to be the same thing for you, or?
Well, it might be a little bit more difficult for me because I've got what's known as the male streamer debuff and also the male VTuber debuff, which you yourself are familiar with. So might be a bit more difficult for me in that regard. Would be fantastic if I could at least get this up to sort of part-time supplemental income. The dream would be to just do this full-time. I'd be happy doing this full-time rest of my days, because out of all the things that I have done in my life, radio was good. I didn't like all of the restrictions on me as far as things I could and could not do. This is mostly unrestricted, and it's no exaggeration. This is where I feel most alive. This is where I feel like I just absolutely come alive, is doing this sort of thing. I only wish that it provided a full-time income, because this would be how I would spend my days. And I really would have to watch myself, like I did a few weeks ago. I had been streaming for about 9 days straight. You know, obviously taking breaks to sleep and eat and everything, but 9 days in a row of streaming. And I noticed, wait a minute, throat's starting to feel a little scratchy here. What's going on? And I looked back and was like, holy shit, I've been doing this for 9 days. I really should probably stop. You know, take a day or two, and that way I don't strain my voice. So that's what I did.
Yeah, you know, fair enough. You don't want to get burnt out. I did that, and that was bad. My body crashed, and when I woke up, I had blood all over my mouth. So
Yeah, that's usually time to stop.
yeah, but you know, I gotta keep working. If I'm not doing something, I feel like I'm, you know, useless. I don't know if that's just like a man thing or like a blue collar thing, but like if I'm not actively doing something, I can't do it.
Maybe a little of both. I will tell you, the wisdom of getting older is knowing when to stop and learning how to silence those noisy voices that say you're somehow lesser than because you're not constantly working and doing something to make yourself useful, and turning that around to say, if I do not rest, then I will cease to be useful entirely. Even God had to rest on the seventh day.
Yeah, fair enough.
So those who say that they would keep working on the seventh day, I would say, oh, really? You think you're somehow better than God, then? You think you somehow know more, or you possess more strength than the actual creator of the universe? Please,
Well, I mean,
do enlighten me more on your ignorance and your arrogance.
anyway, some people don't actually believe in the guy, so they would say yes to that.
Well,
Like, yeah, I mean, at that point, what then?
then I would say they still have a lot to learn, and they'll find out soon enough, as I did.
So did you had a coming to Jesus moment, or was this always something you were part of?
Waxed and waned in the faith in my youth. COVID, I guess ironically enough, brought me back into the faith because I had nothing else to turn to. And it genuinely, I mean, I don't know about anybody else, it felt like the walls were closing in and we were all living on a prison planet. Like an open-air prison colony. An entire world had just been turned into that. And in that darkness and in that anxiety, I turned to God and prayed for him to at least be there with me, as he was always. Just took me not being so foolish to realize it. And to guard me against these, what I could only term were spiritual attacks of the evil one. And he did. It was this almost instantaneous miracle working power within my spirit and within my mind, that all of that was just taken away in just a flash of a moment. And I don't pretend to be some sort of pious person better than anyone else. I freely acknowledge that I am a imperfect, even broken individual. In many ways, I am not the saint that my character is based off of, which is more of a character of literature, Simon Templar, alias the Saint. That's where we get the halo from. But I do my best, and that's really all I can do.
That's fair.
With the prayer and the belief that God's grace should be sufficient to fill in those areas where I fall short.
Well, what do you do? You know, when you're having one of those days where it seems like I don't know about this whole faith thing. What brings you back? Is it reading scripture? Is it reminding yourself what he did for you? What exactly is it for you?
That's part of it.
Okay.
It is. It's a variety of different things. Reading scripture, reflecting on the good things God has done, reflecting on the good things in my life, many of them being gifts from God. I view my own talent, whether it be the voice that I possess or just the experience and everything I've gained from doing this, from radio, from public speaking, from audiobook narration. I view it all, semi in jest from the late Rush Limbaugh, always referring to his own talent as talent on loan from God. It is a gift that I've been given from my Heavenly Father, and it is important to use that responsibly. Now, am I going to get it right every time? Absolutely not. That would be just unrealistic. But I certainly try my best. And in many ways, like I said, in the beginning it was... I joke that my first 2 years was sort of my toxic positivity arc. But we still retain a lot of that hopefulness in the attitudes that I keep with people who come into chat, who interact with me, whom I collab with. Repeatedly I will say to you and anyone else, do not blackpill. Blackpilling is gay and retarded. There is always hope, because until God decides to roll up all of creation and bring all of us back home to heaven, then there is still God and there is still hope. And you have to hang on to that, however it takes. And sometimes it's harder than other moments in your life. And I would say that in those difficult moments, you have to remember the whole thing about living well being the best revenge. And so in a way, sometimes there's so many evil forces pushing down upon us, especially us men, that they hate us and they want us dead. Those forces on a spiritual level are forces sent by the evil one. And I would say more than anything, it is, do not game into yourself. Keep on living, even if only to spite the devil and those who have chosen to serve him. I mean, sometimes the things that just keep us from ending it all is just merely existing out of spite and learning to kind of fill ourselves full of piss and vinegar and use that as a force for good. It is possible.
Okay. And a last religion question. It's very interesting religion that is for me specifically, I would suppose, because how everything worked. But what would you say to somebody, who was looking? He's been on the path for a while. right? Trying to figure out where you should go, who you should talk to, or whatever, but never really has found anything quite yet. What would you say to them?
I would say that a lot of self-study is the key. A lot of self-study is the key. A lot of self-study, a lot of time and reflection. Start there in just sort of quiet, solitary prayer, meditation, and some self-study. Know that God is not angry with you. He does not hate you. He is not out to get you. That he's not constantly waiting for you to cock something up and then proceed to punish you. That's not how he operates. And anyone who's trying to convince you otherwise they're just lying to you. I would also say that you are meant for more in this life than to be, I heard someone put it, you are meant to be more than just broke, busted, disgusted, bitter, and in bondage. That you are meant to have an abundant and joyous life. Now, what that abundance looks like and how it manifests is different for everyone. I won't go into some sort of caricature of prosperity gospel or anything like that. To say that God wants you to have a private jet and a Rolls Royce. I mean, if you want those things and you're willing to hustle to get them, I mean, you do you, boo. But more than anything, that simple little blessing in 3 John, brother, I wish that thou mayest prosper and be in health, even as thy soul prospers. You are meant to have a rich spiritual life and a rather rich life in the sense of good health, of a general feeling of peace and contentment. A rich family life, a rich life with many friends. Wanting for nothing in elements of, I'd say, mostly the intangible. The things that you absolutely cannot put a price on, because it is those sorts of things that make a man truly rich indeed. That, I believe, is God's will for us. To be rich in those areas, to be prosperous in one's health, to have, as Jesus said, life and life more abundantly.
Okay. Hopefully he's watching this, because if not, I'll just have to pass that along. But all right. Ow. I what was it? I think it was a couple days ago. I saw you were doing some sort of the scripture reading or something like that.
Yes, Bible study.
Is that some?
every couple of weeks? Gather with Elijah Knightley, Creamskull if he's able to join us, and whoever else can join as well. We've had Gabriel Gratia, fiancée of Celestium VT. You might have heard of her, the pink accountant lady. And we've also recently had the Countess Rose, Lady Lark, two ladies I've collaborated with previously on streams together. Lark even joining me for election night and inauguration day coverage of the US presidential election. And yeah, we're just slowly making our way through right now, starting with the book of Genesis and working our way through the Old Testament into the New Testament.
Okay. Well, one of these days I might have to look, whatnot, listen in.
I mean,
Yeah,
the VODs
found
are available
religion.
over on, I know they're available over on the Rumble side on a more
Okay.
permanent basis.
Yeah, as I was saying, religion's always been kind of fascinating. And with this, I've noticed that, especially on X, a lot of people don't seem to like that.
Don't seem to
Weird.
like what?
Like I don't know why you would go out of your way to hate on someone who's like doing like a Bible study or whatever.
Well, you know, it speaks to this fallen world that we live in. That, you know, there's some people out there, they just merely exist, and others, their response to mere existences, and I took great offense to that. It is an unreasoning hatred of a rather ungodly nature. But
Alright.
I really don't pay too much mind to the haters, other than to troll them and maybe make some content out of them if I feel so inclined. But it's just my attitude is, you don't like it, nobody is forcing you to stay here and watch it. You're free to come and go as you like. And also, this isn't the airport or a bus terminal. You do not need to announce your departure or your arrival. I know I certainly don't, just as kind of a matter of just general manners. But then again, I'm also getting to, not to sound boastful, but it's getting to the point where it's like I can't even show up into someone else's chat without risking derailing sometimes, and I really don't want to do that for other people.
Huh. People don't like you that much, like already. That's kind of crazy. You must be doing something correct.
I must be. You know, got two things working in my favor: Christian, but also very hard right wing, as in believe communists should be dropped from helicopters. Right wing. I mean, you think well, you think some of those so-called conservative voices that really conserve nothing are such a threat to everything you hold dear. Well, where do you get a load of me? Me, Lord Rexworth, the hard right-winger who thinks that Francisco Franco and Augusto Pinochet did nothing wrong, and would like to see the return, Cecil Rhodes style, of the British Empire, and have it stretch even farther across the world to where the sun really doesn't set on it. Bring back the age of imperialism. Repeal the 19th. Maybe we also get rid of civil rights, equal rights, and a bunch of other things that we've just sort of made up as part of the neoliberal experiment for most of the 20th and 21st century. And put a lot of this decaying establishment through so many of the humiliation rituals that they put us through, see how they like it, and then replace them with a new nobility. Make India British again. I am losing so much patience with India Lupus that I am to the point of, let us turn off all of that access to the internet and to global communication before we seriously consider just nuking them from orbit and be done with it.
You said India loop? What is that?
Sorry, what?
You said India looping? What is that?
India.
Just like the entire country?
Maybe just Hyderabad, the region around there. At the very least, let's explore that. Oh, but all the culture and the footwater. Yeah, exactly, Lupus. The world can do without all of that footwater, and the culture's not all that much to speak of. You know, but the food and the Indian curry, we have the recipes. Amen, communists aren't people. No, they're not. They certainly don't look at any of us like people.
Huh.
Haters going to hate no matter what the subject is. There's always the chance you'll reach someone who needs your message of good. Well, that's always the hope. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. How do you reconcile your political beliefs with your Christianity? So often the question is broached by other people, not accusing you, Dutch, of course. So many people tend to operate under that belief that, you know, they're just supposed to be kind of weak worms of the dust that get stepped on for Jesus. I've never really been one of those people. I have more of a warrior spirit when it comes to that sort of thing. I take a much more imperialist view with my faith, that it is indeed to cover the entire world, because the places that Christianity has touched has made it better, and the places in particular where white Christian civilization have touched with their empires and with their colonization have indeed made those parts of the world better places. And the decline of many parts of the world coincides, I think, with the decline of empires. So much of that was by design, because certain people, in their misguided deconstructionist ways, or maybe even not necessarily misguided, just wicked and evil ways, decided that no, we're not allowed to have those things anymore. Not allowed to have civilization anymore. We know better than what's come before us. And sort of arrogant thinking of, we can do all of this, and the mistaken notion that everyone is somehow created completely and totally equal in all abilities and everything. That man is just a tabula rasa, a blank slate. All of these incredibly misguided, mistaken, woefully naive foundational bits to their own philosophy, and the world has suffered because of it. Action Bastard, welcome in. Good to see you. Rexworth more than happy to use high-yield explosives to Sodom your Gomorrah. Just interested. No, I understand, Dutch, but yeah, it's I don't take some sort of pacifist or even Quaker-like view of things, whether it comes to my politics or my faith. I believe that I do tend to believe in that sort of Maoist principle that power does indeed come from the barrel of a gun. Just look to history and you will see that for yourself. Yes, there is a certain measure of consent of the governed, sure, but consent's rather easy to get from certain people when you've got the military power to back it up.
True. Now, from here, side scrollers and all that. So your name's getting out there, and I mean, before that, it seemed like you were doing some stuff, doing some pretty important stuff, pretty nice stuff. You know what I mean? So how did you getting on side scrollers? How did that happen? And since side scrollers, have you noticed like an uptick in any of your content?
I would be lying if I said that it hasn't had some sort of measurable impact. I mean, by the time I got tapped to appear on side scrollers for the first time, we had already hit about 1,000 followers on Twitch. We're catching up slowly but surely on Kick and over on Rumble. We just recently hit over 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, growing a new clips channel. So there was already some growth, but then, yes, absolutely. You had a lot of people. Liko Maya, thank you for subscribing over on YouTube. Thank you for that. But yes, I did see plenty of people coming into the community, into the audience, and picking up follows with people saying specifically, hey Rex, I saw you on side scrollers, did really good. So dropping a follow here, looking forward to seeing more content. It has had an impact. As far as how I got on side scrollers, I asked. There really is no secret sauce to this. Is that I reached out to... I mean, I'd already collabed with other people who had been previous guests on side scrollers, Cinevere, Celestium, and, figuring that they would vouch for me if need be. I reached out to them, to Blabs specifically, And I just asked. I just said I would like to be considered as a guest on future programs. And then I just sort of left it there. That's really all you can do is just ask. And the worst they can say is either no or they just never get back to you. Either way, you keep pressing forward.
Fair.
And Blabs was kind enough to get back to me. They had an opening for the Friday slot, and said, "Yeah, how'd you like to be on the show with Cinevere and the rest of us?" I said, "That'd be wonderful. Just let me know what I need to do to prepare, and I'll be there." And
Okay.
that's how it went. I woke up a bit earlier than usual for that particular day, and yeah, it was 2 hours that went by in an absolute flash. Everyone incredibly kind and generous and gracious, both on the air and behind the scenes off air. And it, I can confirm, and I've said this before, but what you see on the show itself, with how they carry themselves and everything, that's what you get behind the scenes too. Incredibly real, authentic people, a lot of them, and I love that about each and every one of them. I love dealing with truly authentic, sincere people like that. And I think that's been one of the keys to their success. I mean, Craig has said it himself, he wanted to create a show for normal men. Well, I can't think of a better way of sort of describing your stereotypical normal man than someone who's just sort of unapologetic and sincere about themselves. Not really much in terms of irony or anything like that, which, we're really big on irony in these days with the rise of just the sort of ways that millennials, Gen Z, and younger communicate so often. A lot of that, I think, stemming from a bit of cancel culture, but also severe intimacy issues and the whole loneliness epidemic that we have. But to me, so much of that has just always been so alien. I can only be myself, or at least present some sort of facet of the best facets of myself publicly. I don't believe in putting up that many walls and refusing to let people in. You kind of, one of the keys to success as a content creator and as a talent is you kind of have to let some shields down and be at least a little bit vulnerable with other people.
Oh, fair enough. Fair enough. I'm gonna have to talk to you later about some stuff that you said. Made me think, and in part now, but it's made me think.
Hopefully,
All right.
hopefully good thoughts, and not something that starts out once we're off with like, listen here, you fucker.
Oh no, dude! I'm telling you right now, I haven't had this problem with anybody just because I'm really easy to get along with, and the people that I choose to have on, I've never had a problem with them either. Even if they're like saying stuff that I don't agree with, I'm just like, you know what? That's how you are. That's perfectly fine. The only problem I would have with anybody is I had, what was it, Feeble Mind on, and people were in my chat trying to tell me what I should say to him because they didn't like him. We're not doing that, okay? We don't do that here. If you have a problem with him, you tell him that.
Yeah, it's like they're also in the chat too. It's like and I'm sure he could read the chat, so he knows what you're trying to say. It's like, chat, if you got anything to say to me or to Jigs, you can put it in there in the chat. Say it with your full chest. But
Please.
I mean, it's also one of these things where if chat reflects the streamer, I have been rather painstaking in my attempts to curate a chat and a community that is highly respectful and mature. We definitely crack jokes and have fun, and maybe we do a bit of trolling, but certainly nothing malicious and nothing done in a spirit in any sort of mean-spiritedness. Let me read, and speaking of chat, let me read a couple of things. It's one of those things where we start to get off on tangents, and then everyone else starts talking in chat, and I do apologize if I've missed anything, chat. Not a political voice unless it's about communism. Fuck communism. Yeah, communists can face the wall or just get in the one-way helicopter. Rex, we're more than happy to see you. Oh, we've already read that one. Saw that Twitter post. Congrats on the next episode coming up. Yes, tomorrow, 12 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Central. Side scrollers. Don't miss it. Lupus found my lord through side scrollers. There you have it, right there. Dutch Matrix find you covering Japanese cultural, political, and other matters, other than anime being a unique niche for you. Yes, I mean it's just, I don't know. I'm like I said, I'm one of the old fogies in this business. So after a while, there's only so much anime and manga you can consume before you start to, at least from my view, take a sort of interest and even a fascination in the culture behind it and the history behind it, and even some of the content we consume in terms of Japanese pop culture has a certain political undertone to it, like Godzilla, for example. I mean, their long-running theme with Godzilla, going all the way back to the first movie in 1954, is the subject of nuclear weapons and nuclear testing, and the big debate of, if we keep doing this, we might unleash man-made horrors beyond all comprehension, like the king of the monsters himself, Godzilla. And so we have to be rather careful about that sort of thing. Caught that episode while working, made my day more entertaining. I'm glad, Nick. I'm glad we could make that Friday a more entertaining one. It's one of those things where it's like, yeah, we get into heavy shit. We get into some pretty heavy shit sometimes. And we get into some rather serious conversations. And yet I don't know how I managed to do it, but I do it to where we can switch gears, give ourselves a little bit of a palate cleanser the next, and just be laughing about the silliest and most ridiculous things. So, well, it's definitely an education. I hope of the best kind when you come into stream, at least on my end. But we are going to definitely not only educate you, entertain you, make you laugh, and then perhaps when your guard is down, slip in a heavy idea or two. Also the travelogues. Yes, do plenty of travelogues. I've got a few up here in some tabs, chat. In some tabs. I'll give you a little bit of a hint of what's coming. A bullet train themed hotel, and also staying the night in a ramen restaurant. Should be interesting. Akechi Goto, thank you for checking in on Rumble. Who is the guest? This is Jigs the Plague Doctor.
Howdy. Also, Dutch, yeah, I got into Sea Dance a week ago or whatever, and then I tried to make a music video for something that I had, and then I used just about all of my credits for that, and it came out terrible, just kind of how I expected it. But since I did that, I ran out of credits. But before I did that, I still got a couple of videos out that are on my X of me just kind of like messing around with the system. So hopefully when I get paid, I can get some more credits, because I got ideas. I got plans, man. All right? So I'm super excited about that.
Back to the drawing board on payday.
Yeah, pretty much. I have like 26 songs that are out on Suno. And
well done.
Just about each one of them needs a music video. So I'm going to be here for like the next year and some change getting those out, which is cool. But I also have more music that I also want to put out. So there's all that. There's a whole bunch of different stuff that I'm going to do. I just need more time and more money.
You've got a queue. That's a good thing to have, though. Good problem to have.
Yeah.
Far better than getting an education in subaquatic sodomy from some small-time organization like Harvard. I suppose so.
Dude, it's crazy. I can't believe these kids are graduating with Under the Nutsack Negatic link from Uganda. Like, what are you supposed to do with that?
or graduating from Harvard and can't even read their own diplomas.
Oh yeah, because I can't read cursive. Let's.
We're going to be
God,
talking
that's
about that, I
amazing.
think, tomorrow on Side Scrollers. That should be interesting. My
Oh
wife
God.
wants to stay in the Pom Pom Purin Hotel. Lol. I don't know what that is.
I have an idea, but like if it's the Jamaican or the Puerto Rican version of Pum Pum, I know exactly what that is, but I don't know. He spelled it with O, so I'm not 100% sure. I
Zine
feel like I
Barrel
heard.
is rating the channel on Rumble.
Oh, Zine, welcome in, Raiders. Thank you for the Rumble raid. Welcome, Raiders. If it's your first time here, I'm Lord Rexworth. I'm an English nobleman VTuber. I'm sitting down with Jigs the Plague Daughter, and we're just having ourselves an avenue of chat in a nice little part of town called Conversation Street.
True. That's what we do.
But welcome in.
That's
How
very
is your stream? Everybody make sure you go follow Zine Dravarol. Hopefully I got that last name pronounced just right. Go follow Zine Dravarol over on Rumble. That is the best way I know how to shout you out. I will pin the raid message to the top of the live chat there on Rumble. Everybody click on Zine's name there. Go to his channel on Rumble. Give him a follow. Let's see. Akachigoto writing, if Jigs is on Rumble, can follow you.
I am on Rumble. I just need to get on there more.
Yeah, I've been trying to encourage members of the X Street Pirate crew, those of you who have not started multi-streaming, do so, and across as many channels as your bandwidth will allow you to, which can be harder for some. 2 channels already is pushing it for some people, but I mean, technically with fiber internet becoming more ubiquitous, the idea of streaming to 4 channels or even to 5 potentially is becoming more and more of a realistic possibility. And tonight we are definitely pushing the limits of things, streaming to Twitch, Kick, YouTube, and Rumble.
That's
But if
pretty
you
much
get the
what I'm
last
doing,
name
too.
right, you got it right. Lol. I'm glad. Had to take it slow, but I got there. Was playing Shogun 2. Excellent. Sounds like fun.
Do you not stream to X?
I did briefly. I'm kind of waiting to see what they're wanting to do with the streaming portion of X. I know there's been talk from Elon and from other people about working into something that is a bit more, I guess, UI similar to Kick and Twitch. We'll see. I want to see what they do with that before I throw in a 5th channel to stream on. I know it helps notifying people when I've gone live, but I mean, I'm already doing that manually. So,
I mean, so far I would do it because every once in a while, when I remember to stream on Rumble, I'll stream to all 5, and I've had people come in and be like, "Oh, I saw you on X," so I was like, then I went to your Kick, or I went to your YouTube, or I went to your Twitch.
yeah.
I'm like, okay. Then, yeah,
I know some people put in a note, chat on Twitch or chat on Kick.
Yeah.
Teens can't
was on
even
my
read
mind.
manual clocks now.
Yeah, that's crazy.
You need to know how to read a manual clock, and you need to know how to at least sign your name in cursive. You don't necessarily have to write in cursive. I know for me it's faster when I am writing to just print, but when I sign important documents like legal documents, I do it in cursive, mainly because I was taught to do so. And I can't imagine, especially me being a watch guy, not being able to read an analog clock face. And it's not anything that's like, you don't necessarily have to know how to read military time, but you need to at least understand the concept of AM and PM. So being a watch guy, it's just like I weep for younger generations, but you know, maybe there's an opportunity for people like myself, the younger generations that are aged 18 and older, of course, coming into stream and hearing me prattle on the way I do for hours on end about watches. Seriously, chat, I literally have done that. I have a video in the archive on Lord Rexworth VT over on YouTube. 3 hours. 3 hours. I was yapping about watches.
This talk about what you love, you can do it forever.
Yes, but it is also to the point where Lalas, my editor, has recently said, it's like, Rex, I love the enthusiasm. You're doing really well. I'm going to need you to reel it in a bit. Because Asmongold's video was less than 30 minutes, and you took almost 2 hours to make it through that video. So, we may need to, I may need to exercise a bit more discipline. No more watch talk. I demand it.
You bring up something interesting that I talked to some people about, but the younger generation seems to have a not really good track to follow and whatnot. And a lot of the stuff that's online now seems to be, quick and fast, easy fame and whatnot. And they're missing genuine connections with genuine people. And I have this idea, I have this theory that just based on who we are as people, me and you specifically in this instance, we're genuine people. You know what I mean? We do things that we actually enjoy doing, and people can tell that we actually enjoy doing it. Now, granted, we might not have the best upbringing, we might not be the greatest people, but since we are genuine, I feel like we will get bigger in this content creator space regardless. And I feel like the younger generation will eventually, like that whole instant quick gratification, these really loud yelling IRL nuisance streamers and stuff like that will eventually fall off. And as they get older, I feel like they'll look for people more like us. You know what I'm saying?
I think you may be onto something with that. What you describe, especially with the nuisance streamers, people like that, they are, I think it was Kitsura Nines who had a tweet about this earlier today, which I sort of piggybacked on myself. Just reminding people of, in a jungle of things and people who flower and wither quickly, be an evergreen. It's important to be an evergreen. And yeah, I think you're quite right. I mean, you can only be so flash in the pan for so long before people get tired of it, and you have to keep coming up with a new shtick all the time. Eventually, you run out of ideas. Whereas I can keep talking about the things that interest me, the things that I love, until the end of time. I can, keep talking about the news, politics, culture, travel, watches, cars, men's fashion. The things that we kind of took for granted as young men and as gentlemen in our youth, and probably the same thing for previous generations, until we sort of rediscover the importance of these things and of a lot of the tradition and the history behind them. And if somehow the revolution is won and we get everything that we want in that revolution, then yeah, I'll just like Kirsch, I'll just go back to playing video games on the stream. But I'm not going to be wanting for things to talk about and things to do. Some people are one-trick ponies who that's all they have. is that just those moments of outrage and rage baiting people. And then there's people like you and me, and especially me, where we want to offer something more of substance. And so long after those quick flowering plants have all withered and died, we'll still be here. The evergreens in the forest, still growing, still standing strong, and just doing our thing and welcoming in those that are finally ready for something more.
It's interesting, and I feel like there's a couple people that I feel like, provided they continue to do what they do, that'll just be where it ends up being at the end of the day. And I like it. And, But also, a lot of those people are like, hey, I'm really just doing this for fun, or like a side thing. But like, you kind of have the goal to make it like a job, if you could. You know what I mean? And I feel like you're on the right track. You have multiple different avenues of different things that are getting out there, which is really nice.
Yeah.
And like, so next question, how do you deal with everything? Because obviously you seem to be a very busy man.
I've had a lot of practice in terms of how to get show prep just right. I certainly don't prep as much as I used to during my radio days. Most of the time it's just a matter of, I've got a window full of tabs. Let's see how many of these we can get to. And hopefully it'll be, a net negative number by the time we're done, and we haven't opened up even more tabs of things to see and things to experience and things to talk about. I don't read too many articles, though I kind of have a desire to change that. I know I've got one in particular for my next stream. Well, I thought I did. Hang on. It was actually New York Times article. A bit of Schadenfreude. The headline, Private Equity is stuck with 33,575 unsold businesses. To which I just kind of smiled to myself and just say, well, ain't that a bitch? I despise private equity and everything that they have done to enshittify the whole of the global economy. And I say that as having worked at least adjacent to private equity at one point in my professional career. But yes, they've been responsible for the mass enshittification of everything. And so, getting that they've got these tens of thousands of businesses that they had hoped to offload at a later date, and all of a sudden, oh no, they can't get rid of them as quickly as they could, and they're going to have to try and get extensions on all of their loans, and keep carrying them until they can offload them. Oh no! Anyway.
Oh. I forgot about ads.
Exactly, Jimothy Sticklepasty. Welcome in, by the way. Ha! Get fucked.
Well, as we're reaching the end, I do have a couple more questions for you. Because I always like asking people, specifically people who, they put themselves out there, whether it be, with the avatar or with a, their actual face. Mm-hmm. But do you have like any knowledge, wisdom, inspirational quotes, or something you think that chat should know, just in general? And it could be about anything.
About anything.
Yeah, it could be about anything, or it could be super specific. It could be like the watches you were talking about. It doesn't matter. Just.
Well, couple of things. I say that as I'm trying to find some notes I actually have on all of that. I will say that one should have at least one really nice watch in your collection. Something that's a good, what's known as a GADA, go anywhere, do anything sort of watch. That can be a rather nice looking diver's watch. It could be, a field watch that can be kind of dressed up or dressed down with different interchangeable straps and bracelets. Probably best to go with something like a field watch or something in the vein of a Rolex Explorer without spending Rolex Explorer money. They can be had, oftentimes for anywhere between $200 to $500 in that price range. There's even cheaper versions from Casio that can be had. Don't feel like you have to go get a mechanical watch when a quartz is still the most accurate watch movement in the world. As far as anything else, I think it was said. I think it was said rather well by Edward VIII, the Duke of Windsor. A well-tailored suit will take you very far in life. So, specific advice for the men: get yourself at least one rather nice, well-tailored suit that looks good on you, because it will take you very far in life. And pair it up with a nice watch, as I said, because as Ian Fleming, the writer of the James Bond novels, said, a man's choice of timepiece can oftentimes say more about him than his choice of tailoring or his Savile Row suit. I would also quote a few things here towards the end. Rather inspiring bits.
Okay.
There was a short little stanza by Edwin Markham. He said, "How great it is to believe the dream, as we stand in youth by the study stream. But a greater thing is to fight life through, and say at the end, the dream is true." And then, last but certainly not least, a poem by Rudyard Kipling that I think good testament to the spirit of man, and rather thoroughly answers in a poetic form what is a man. If you can keep your head when all about you are losing theirs and blaming it on you, if you can trust yourself when all men doubt you but make allowance for their doubting too, if you can wait and not be tired by waiting, or being lied about, don't deal in lies, or being hated, don't give way to hating, and yet don't look too good nor talk too wise. If you can dream and not make dreams your master, if you can think and not make thoughts your aim, if you can meet with triumph and disaster and treat those two impostors just the same, if you can bear to hear the truth you've spoken, twisted by knaves to make a trap for fools, or watch the things you give your life to broken and stoop and build them up with worn-out tools, if you can make one heap of all your winnings and risk it on one turn of pitch and toss, and lose and start again at your beginnings, and never to breathe a word about your loss, if you can force your heart and nerve and sinew to serve your turn long after they are gone, and so hold on when there is nothing in you except the will which says to them, hold on. If you can talk with crowds and keep your virtue, or walk with kings nor lose the common touch, if neither foes nor loving friends can hurt you, if all men count with you, but none too much, if you can fill the unforgiving minute with 60 seconds worth of distance run, yours is the earth and everything that's in it, and which is more, you'll be a man, my son.
Okay. That's some knowledge you're gonna have to think about.
Yes,
definitely.
And also,
definitely isn't one of those ones where it's like, oh yeah, I get it immediately. That's you're definitely gonna have to think about.
Added bonus for everybody. follow the sagely advice of the late Orson Welles. If you read nothing else in your life, read two things: the Bible and the complete collected works of William Shakespeare. Read those two, read them repeatedly throughout your life, and you would understand more about life itself than any one of your peers.
You know, fair enough. It's funny when people tell me, or at least when I hear people say the two books you should read, one of them is the Bible, but the other one was The Art of War.
That's another good one. But I would
It is
say
a very good
start with Shakespeare. Then
Yeah.
maybe make your way over to The Art of War.
Yeah, we can go from there. But also, wanted to piggyback, also off of what you said at first when you were talking about the nice tailored suit and the nice watch. Another thing that will go miles for you is a good cologne. I mean, I
Yes.
don't know about you, but I'm assuming you also like cologne yourself. Now, for me particularly, you can get an EDT, you can get a toilette if you want to. You can get an eau de parfum as well. When they also do make actual perfumes for men, this is something you're gonna have to look at. Now, I'm a sucker for someone who likes patchouli and bergamot notes,
Okay.
and it might not be in the top note, but it might be more in the mid-range notes type of deal. So something like that. But also, if you are feeling kind of spicy and you could find a good one that isn't too overbearing, you can get something with oud in it. I have one that is oud and rose water, and it lasts all day. It is amazing. But find something that works for you and your body. I could talk about all the stuff that I like, but until you try it yourself, you might not really understand how it works for you. Because obviously, my body chemistry is different than yours. So find
Right.
something that works for you.
Yes.
But I mean, Rexworth, what do you think?
I think good advice, and ultimately you're quite right that you need to find what works for you. Like yours, you said it was bergamot, and what was the other ingredient?
Patchouli.
Patchouli. For me, it's always been, I kind of go back and forth, kind of seasonally, between certain citrusy type fragrances, things that may have notes of mandarin orange or limes of the West Indies. And then in the cooler months, I tend to switch to something always smelled a bit warmer to me, and that was things that are based with sandalwood.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Yeah. But, I mean, my go-tos of choice, if you're on a budget chart, there's an Italian brand called Proraso that makes shaving creams and also aftershave lotions. They have their regular one is, I think, eucalyptus and menthol, but they also have one that is a sandalwood oil and shea butter aftershave lotion. Both are really good. They're only like $14 on Amazon, so super cheap, but they tend to last all day. If you've got maybe a little extra, try the fragrances of Royal or Bermuda. I tend to gravitate towards Royal Lime, which is just limes of the West Indies. Royal Yacht is more budget-friendly version of Polo Blue. Royal Rugby, the classic Polo Green, which is actually my father's fragrance of choice. He's been wearing Polo Green for well over 50 years now. And then, I tend to go for like Polo Blue, Acqua di Gio, and then
Classic.
maybe like Taylor of Old Bond Street, good London-based perfumery and gentleman's toiletry shop there in the high streets near Piccadilly. Actually paid them a visit when I was last in London. I got to grab a bottle of cologne while I was there, so missed opportunity. I'll have to go back.
Yeah.
But if you can manage full retail price of about $122 a bottle, Truefit and Hill, they make some of the best. Some of the
I've
best
heard
stuff.
of them. I actually haven't got a chance to acquire anything from them yet.
Yes.
And I'm assuming since you know about fragrances, you've heard of Creed Adventus, right?
Yes, I've heard of Creed. Never really tried anything from them before. I've always been more of a Polo. Back when Brooks Brothers had fragrances, I would usually get like Brooks Brothers Classic, which is very similar to Mr. Taylor's from Taylor of Old Bond Street. I mentioned Acqua di Gio. That was one of my summertime fragrance. And maybe Polo Black.
I have a friend that he swears by that. It's not bad. It's just I don't know if it's really my thing necessarily, and that'd definitely be like a special occasion one, not like an everyday one for me. But
Yeah.
with Created Ventus, there's it's gonna sound weird, especially if you're not really into fragrances or you have like an idea of fragrances. But it's this very interesting mellow pineapple at the top notes, but then when it mellows out after that, I don't know how they did it, but it's so amazing. But with
Yeah.
Created Ventus, that's if you can somehow afford that, by all means get that. But there's also something from a company called Pete and Pedro, and it's called Rebel, and it's essentially it's literally a clone of that cologne. See what I'm saying?
Yeah. So
Yeah,
something more
and
if you're
it's
on a budget.
yeah, and it does it's the exact same thing, lasting the exact same amount of time, and it's a fraction of the price. But yeah, it's
Yeah.
Pete and Pedro, and the actual fragrance they have for it is called Rebel. So if you can get your hands on something like that, chef's kiss. It's one of the first ones I ever got, and I'm hesitant to use it
Yeah.
because I love it so much.
Another good recommendation here in the kick chat from Oil Lupus, Legend from Mont Blanc. I've actually tried that before,
Yes.
Lupus. That's
Yes.
a good one. Tried
That's a
it the
good one.
first time, gosh, this was over 10 years ago, and I was in a duty-free shop, and it was just one of those things that spoke to me, and I think I'd just run out of cologne, and it was just like, well, kind of needed to get something anyway, so yeah, and tried it, loved it. It's decent casual. It definitely gives the air of a scent for professionals, your sort of white collar professionals that quite often are in business casual or wearing a suit.
Yes. Also, what was it? Like I saw somewhere in your chat. I think Ollie said it. I don't know where it went. It disappeared. Oh,
Reminds me of a spray wifey used to get. Smelled just like lemon cake, but the company that made it went under. I haven't been able to find another that smelled just as nice since. I mean, it's a bit more expensive, but there are perfumeries out there that will create for you a custom scent.
Yes.
Some work with, tighter budgets than others. I know the rather world-famous one, Floris of London. They are quite expensive. I mean, we're talking $100, $200 a bottle for some of their fragrances. But they will create custom fragrances for you. They're just one example. I'm sure there are plenty out there far cheaper, and you don't have to go all the way to London in order to get a custom fragrance that works for you. It's just a matter of doing the proper search. Dark Phoenix, welcome in. Good to see you over on Kick. Hello.
There it was. So the warmer scents. There's another one from Pete and Pedro called Villain, and it's leather, tobacco, and vanilla. And
That sounds good to me, yeah.
It is very nice, and that's definitely something that you would wear like in the colder months. Definitely something you would wear in the colder months.
Definitely.
So, but I mean, if you were to get something like that now, right before it starts to get cold, that is definitely something I would pick up.
And
well.
always great gifts for Christmas. The gift of a cologne for the gentleman in your life, and even perfume for the lady in your life.
True.
Still hard to go wrong with. I mean, one of my go-tos, at least when I was either married or dating someone, of which I'm single for the moment. But yeah, not uncommon for me to perhaps, maybe just inquire casually as to what sort of perfume was in my lady's collection at the time. But Chanel, I know it's expensive. The Chance series from Chanel, much cheaper than trying to buy a bottle of Chanel No. 5. And doesn't have that granny smell to it like No. 5 often does. But yeah, Chance, lovely fragrance, just pure perfection in a woman. As much as when I spritz on Acqua di Gio and the women's panties just sort of magically fall off, Chance by Chanel, all of a sudden, pants just drop for me, and it's like, all right, let's make Shinzo Abe proud, love.
Yeah, right? But all right, man. I'm gonna wrap this up with you here. If we don't, I can talk about fragrances all day. I have like 26 of them sitting right next to me on my desk because
Yeah, no,
I love them.
it's a great passion. I too am always rather curious about it. Don't have stupid advanced knowledge, but you and I are of one mind on that. It's like, yes, find a good scent, find a good signature scent that really works for you, and drives the ladies wild.
It really does. But so everyone that I interview, I do a follow up in about like 2 or 3 months. Just wanted to ask last question: is that something you would be down to do?
Yeah, I mean, scheduling permitted. I have no idea what that's going to look like a few months from now.
Yeah.
But if schedule permitting, I'd love to come back.
Alrighty then. So, I mean, that's really about it. I want to thank you for being here. I want to thank your chat for being here, being so cool. Other than that, I just wish you guys to have a good rest of your night. All right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Alrighty. We all have a good one.
Take care, Jigs.
You too.
Bye. All right, well, that went rather well. We'll go ahead and disconnect the collaboration. Hopefully that doesn't break anything in Social Stream Ninja. The one thing that can be rather challenging about discussing fragrances is we lack smell-o-vision with this medium that we use for streaming. I think that would really help if we had smell-o-vision. That was fun. Learn some stuff about the streamer. That's always fun. Yeah. Absolutely. And everybody do make sure you go follow Jigs. Good stuff. Yeah. No smell-o-vision. Sag. No smell-o-vision. That is Sag. I do think, chat, we are going to go ahead and call it here a little bit early. I know this is a short one for me. So no video reacts tonight. I will make it up to you and do video reacts tomorrow afternoon / evening after Side Scrollers, which again, everyone, please make sure that you tune in. Support them. Side Scrollers over on YouTube, Kick, and Twitch, and also Rumble. On sidescrollersplus.com, make sure you sign up for the premium membership. Give yourself access to special events like VTuber Chaos that they recently did with many of your favorite based VTubers gathering together and playing some Jackbox. It's fun stuff. Worth the cost of admission. And don't forget they've got the Sin City event coming up soon. That should be a lot of fun. Hopefully there's going to be some video out about that. I should love to see the conversations that occur between Tectone and Arch and Jake Monroe and Craig and Blabs and Phoenix, everybody there just sort of gathering together, small gathering of people, keeping it rather intimate like that. I think that's wise choice. And I mean, it's the Vegas. Who doesn't love the Vegas? Except for the resort fees, of course. Those are dreadful. Terrible idea. Again, going back to the notion that private equity ruins everything. That's a private equity move right there. Most would smell like unclean rooms and dirty laundry. Early asthma would have caused multiple fatalities. That's good. But yes, make it up to you tomorrow. Plenty more video reacts. We'll try to go late into the night too. But if you missed any part of tonight's program, VODs will be available immediately. And would you look at that? Sirius Kovac VT, thank you for the raid. Welcome in, Raiders. If it's your first time here, I'm Lord Rexworth. I'm an English nobleman VTuber. We are would actually, you've caught us on a way out. I was actually going to kind of call it a night, and so we could raid out to people. Let me go ahead and grab copy pasta for everybody. But thank you so much for the raid, mods in chat. Can we get shout outs for Sirius Kovac VT? Actually, if you could take care of that, or if Rosso is that in chat, can we get shout outs on Twitch? I know about you, Lord Rexworth, especially your Honda N55 Civic review. Ah, yes, that is available over at Lord Rexworth VT. Taking a look at various modified cars released in Japan by Mitsuoka, including the Mitsuoka N55 modified Honda Civic hatchback that looks very much like a Honda and something like a Dodge Challenger had a baby together. I mean, it looks so cool. More like an Opel Manta, if you like. If you like. Some people buy tiny, expensive, tiny sample versions of clones at a good price. That's a smart way to buy expensive kinds. Yes, the samplers, always a good decision. And more travel-friendly, too. Easy to get those through TSA. Right. Copy pasta is up. And Sirius, let me... Ah, okay, we got shout-outs. And you were doing some just chatting, too. But yeah, I hope you had a good stream. Do exercise that normal after-stream care. Get up and stretch, grab something to eat, something to drink. And yeah, stand by for raids, everybody. Our dear lovely Kitsune Mizuki is still at it with her stream. So we're going to go raid her over on Kick. Let's see, who do we have that's still streaming over on Twitch that we can hand things off to? Let's see, I see Lusty Links. See some other people too. Let's see, looks like Lady Lark. I think she's wrapped stream already. Oh well. Oh well. I think, yeah. Let's go ahead and go raid. Let's go raid Lusty Links. Let's go raid Lusty Links, playing some Peak. And then, let's see who we've got over on Rumble that we can go raid. Been a while since we've raided Megamoo32. Friend of side scrollers. Let's go raid Megamoo. We'll add in a flesh tuber. All right, everybody. Have yourself a lovely evening. I'll see all of you tomorrow in the morning and midday on side scrollers, and later on here on Twitch, Kick, and Rumble at the very least. Probably not YouTube. But thank you all so much for joining me. I'm Lord Rexworth, wishing you all the best, and God bless.